what we come up with here because they're switching sides. CLG now on blue. And is going to stick to the Graves ban here. Echo Fox, no surprise as well, targeting Huhi with the Aurelian Soul. Now, will the further targeting, once the Anivia ban comes in, like last time that we were talking about, chain it to the Vladimir? Because Vladimir, as you said, has such a high impact as far as team fighting goes, being able to dive the back line right now with this proto build and the popularity of Ignite really makes life hard for the AD carries.
Seen too many Vlad bans as it goes, considering it seems like most people feel it's a comfortable play against at least.
Yeah, Lulu's still up. Echo Fox are opting to ban out the Caitlyn rather than the Lulu portion of that combo. This is definitely Stixay's one of his favorite champions. They've actually moved over the Ezreal ban for this Caitlyn ban. It still could come in as their third ban and still continue to target Stixay and go for the Ezreal, or they could just look for, pushing against the Ezreal and force him into that role. The other thing is that you can play, other auto attack AD carries. We've been prepping the Kog'Maw for a while.
Yeah.
Also could go quite well with the Lulu. Echo Fox does get a chance to break up whatever CLG do decide to go for, though.
Miss the days when that Kog'Maw, you wouldn't really know. You'd be like, is that actually Froggins? Is he going to start sniping people out again?
The mid lane options.
The mid lane options that Froggin can come through with are quite crazy, as we've seen before. Camille, the Shen's going to be banned out. Rengar and that Lulu left up, as well as that Ezreal for the Caitlyn. And now we're going to see Rumble locked in for Darshan. As we said before, the most blind pick for top laners here to feel safe. Yeah,
super good for blind picking. Comfortable with vast majority of matchups. So on the opposite side, Echo Fox take away that Lulu. The big Pixie prize will be theirs. And we've already talked about, Rengar jumping in, loves to have defenses as well. We'll see what AD carry it is. And if they actually use their, Lulu protection for Keith, or try and use it offensively if they're diving in.
Stixay gets his Ezreal, very much a comfort pick for him. And we'll see who he does. He can still easily go the Vladimir here. Nothing that's really going to bite down on him too hard. But he has a lot of options. They also could wait on it. Obviously, get that support in there.
Yeah, haven't had a chance to throw any bans around there for protecting their blind pick strategy yet. Regardless, though, we will have unanswered roles, desynced basically roles as far as the champions picked. As Echo Fox have the support and jungle locked in, CLG gonna let jungle fall through the next phase. Smithy feels okay about absorbing a couple more bans here, and I can see that too, because after you're dropping down a little bit past Graves is already banned out and Rengar taken here, not like a huge amount of power you're giving up, and they'd rather grab that Thresh that was banned out before. Aphromoo, has had huge plays on this champion and huge saves. So a champion like Thresh, I think, also really excels if the games are as chaotic and get messy as the last game. If people are making crazy moves over here, and lanterns can really be the difference between if someone flashed into a wall and trying to save them afterwards.
I love kind of the kind of respect you can create if you're hitting a lot of hooks. Then teams are going to play differently once you approach as a 5v5. Once you're next to a turret, they give you a little more respect. It makes things easier.
Also, I just like Thresh as far as setting up a little bit more stability in your team fighting. You mentioned the hook. He also has options with play and the box. Ezreal and Rumble can both work really well around some type of pivot point like that, where it's on Aphromoo once again, as he's always been so vocal about being a shot caller and wanting to be the one making the plays. Meanwhile, on Echo Fox side, back to Ash duty for Keith. Haha! I wonder, we'll check in and see how long his streak of Ash has been. And
quite a while. As you search that, they do ban Jace and Gragas. We do have the Vladimir and Nautilus banned on the other side. They don't want to give away too many tanks. Actually, most of the tank bans coming in from the side of CLG, knowing Looper will just wreak havoc and stay in the top lane, being a nuisance.
Yes, sir. Vladimir no longer an option, and we shall see how the top lane does develop here into the Rumble.
Wreak havoc, bird is the word. Swain gets locked in for Looper. Remember also when Froggen used to take this for himself.
Yeah, it's definitely a flexible pick.
See what happens on the other side. They say, oh, counter AP. We want to pick the Veigar.
Talking about, setting up cages and, areas for Ezreal and Rumble to work off of. This is obviously just a hover that, 6A does like to do the oddball hovers before switching over, but I am intrigued with the viability right now of Veigar. We'll have to wait on it, though. Not today, my friend. Also, as you said, flexible pick here for Echo Fox. That's why, since they had first pick in the first round here, they don't want to give away. Technically, Froggen could also take this swing to the mid lane as far as switching up that matchup and keeping that last pick as an actual counter. Away!
Huhi going to show off his parkour skills this game. Locks in the talent.
As far as the strengths that people have talked about and roaming for Huhi and leaving lane and creating stuff elsewhere, talent does fit into that. Faker's been playing it, so justified. Haha.
There you go.
He also has an absolutely insane effect on solo queue as well. Can snowball very heavily. Any champion with that type of mobility with parkour, as well as a decent amount of burst damage, definitely have a huge impact there. And there you go with your flexible pick. Does end up going to the top side. Froggen on the victor again.
That's great. If Talon does get ahead, he almost has a Rengar-esque type of pressure on your team where you don't want to be alone because, boom, you're gone.
And for people who either haven't come up against him recently or haven't played this champion, you actually do have to respect the early level burst damage from it as well, coming a lot from the passive. What you'll do with the passive after the rework, you need 3 hits with any spell, and then you can trigger a huge damage bleed with an auto attack. During laning phase, you can either, if your jungler's coming, just immediately jump to the opponent with a Q for 1 spell, and then throw out your W, which is a lot easier to land once you're that close, to guarantee that the other ones are going to stack up. That's if you have your jungler. A safer way to do it is to actually throw out your W first, and if both of those things hit, then go in for the Q. And you can just kind of fish for him that way and wait for a good opportunity.
We'll see. He's got a lot to work around. He's got Swain in the top. He's going to be slowed, polymorphed, also an Ash arrow to the face. They got the work cut out for him if they try to dive in. We'll see what happens. Getting into game 2, CLG win, hashtag Fox win. Kobe, you were looking at it earlier. 8th Ash game for Keith. He has been putting in the work.
Yeah, 8 in a row for Ash duty for Keith. As everybody else wants to bring the damage, and they've delegated him to bring most of the crowd control.
Hey, man, some people have said, I don't want a stun bot. I'll go mid. He's sticking with it.
All right,
See how they hop into this one.
Yeah, there actually are a decent amount of options this time around for Echo Fox. Never Move is kind of decently hard to land, especially once people start upgrading boots. In the early game, it's a lot easier. That along with Gravity Field do provide a decent amount of control for team fights. Again, though, especially when you see Ignite's return to mid lane, I get super excited, and you have to talk about the possibilities of even level 2 kills. All you need for Talon is your Q and your W, to be able to get trades off and look for those passive procs.
Talking about it in mid lane as well, the supports didn't bring any exhaust either, so there's going to be a lot of kills coming up as people walk away from these fights.
This game is fire.
I think the young ones call it lit, Kobe.
I've passed 30. I'm over the hill here.
It's all right. We just have to go on the internet more. So we'll see how this one starts off. Remember, Fox did have a bit of early game pressure last time. Even though we did see Acadian get kind of soloed by Darshan, he brought it back around to be in his favor. And here, just charging up the heat gauge, Darshan stays in maximum power range.
Yeah. The other thing here, with Smithy on the Olaf, ever since the 7.5 pack, people have been looking for, or patch, people have been looking for ways to use the new Sunborn pact. Myself, I've found it underwhelming for junglers. It is an option that Smithy has gone for here again on the Olaf. And, if you haven't looked over it, not only does it give you 5% maximum health, which is just great all around for anybody and everybody, but if you land any sort of CC, which includes the Axis, which is his best use case here, if you tag anybody with a slow or anything like that, then you get this rune on the enemy, and if any of your allies hit them, they can heal. You can't heal off it, but It can provide a decent amount of healing. As for me, I still prefer the more greedy masteries, you know, for Olaf. But it definitely is a good one, especially if you're in pro play and looking for more, you know, team coordination. I still think, obviously, the best user for me is the Nunu because he didn't really have any good options before, and I think Olaf does have other good options. But it is one of the ones he's gone for here again, so worth explaining.
Yeah.
I think it's also mostly good for melee supports and people who can really get off AoE to get multiple runes up for team fights. Honestly, though, wasn't the biggest of factors.
Seems to be tending more towards this Olaf as well. You saw not worried about really losing bans last game. Trying new things out. Flavor for the team is he's pretty good on that Olaf.
I'm super curious as to like the total amount of healing he actually got off in the last game, because there were a lot of scrappy fights and a lot of team fights. So definitely checking in on the numbers. You can evaluate whether it's worth it or whether it is worth going for more greedy stuff.
Slowly pushed into the turret here by volleys and glitter lances. See Aftermoo on this Thresh. We wondered around week 5 when the engages would really come in here for CLG. Thresh was one of those, and they really are able to control the fights.
CSing decently well under the turret, but you can see the toll in the health bars so far for CLG. Won't matter too much if they're able to get to you know, the tier purchases. Timing here for Stixay, who, by the way, is running the Fervor with Ezreal kind of as expected here, and Keith is running that new Warlords, as long as we're going over all these masteries. Yeah, Keith does get hit with a hook, but again, they're behind in health, so.
Those are the kind of hooks I was mentioning in the beginning. Hooks that you hit to create that respect, but you're not necessarily taking to try and instantly win the game.
Yeah, you remember last time you want to get the hook again?
Exactly. You don't even have to take it. You just throw it as it's up.
Sunny boy.
Make sure it connects for an auto attack or something else.
All right, junglers with a little bit of information trade here. Noting on the top side, that will.
And that's the problem. When you miss it, that respect is lost. The force flash, the hit comes in. The heal also went off. They could be trying to go. Gate can take a turret shot. Do they want it? No! It actually reaches him just the edge of the volley.
Man, yeah, that respect is long gone, Rib. The Echo Fox
window.
Bottom lane, straight up double kill here.
But that's the thing, you're not supposed to miss a hook. Hit them all.
Woo, that is horrible for the CLG bottom lane. Look at that size of that wave that was dying on that turret, too.
That's painful.
Oh, man.
All right, let's see what they can get back in the top lane. Looper throws down the never move. They flash out of it. Actually, no axe throw from McSmithy. He says, I don't want to tank this if you're not tanking yet. I will start to take aggro. They get him away from the turret. That's pretty much all they wanted. I don't know if he's going to get another
is it? Oh!
Just a few seconds. One last auto back. The dot strikes down. Retribution for his own death. That's how you do it.
Echo Fox are feeling pretty good at about the beginning of this game. Look at this.
Let's see the bottom again.
Let's look at this.
Slow down.
Keith has gotten flamed so much. You got to give him his time in the spotlight here, because gonna go in for that one. And then right here as well, Gate goes into body blocks, so Stixay has to back off. He knows he can't get anything through, and Keith able to fire off that volley. It's just the edge of the volley. I can't believe it. We did it. Double kill.
Oh no. Oh, Rake's gonna still come back. Remember those ignites in mid lane. We're getting a lot of fights here in the early game using those summoners, and both mid laners make it out alive.
And because of the success of the bottom lane, Gate is able to arrive mid, allow Froggen to push out this wave.
Control ward clear.
That is what we call a cascading effect, Riv, here, as Froggen is going to be able to push out the wave before backing two. Quite nice for him, and with the threat of all summoner spells have been used in mid lane, we may see more visitors go mid lane.
All summoners from, actually,
Tops two.
Yeah, Smithy's Smite and the flash of Gate and Acadian are up in Stixay. So
yeah, Stixay.
Everybody's like, you use yours, I'll use mine.
Stixay still has his flash because he did not expect the edge of that volley to hit. He was like, I am out of here. I made it. I cleared the distance.
Probably in like 99 of 100 games, just not that one. Just not that one.
All right, let's talk about respect again. Keith.
Gotta watch out for that Lantern.
He's the one who's demanding respect now.
That will block his pathing. 7 minutes on this one. And yeah, the caster wave will definitely push up towards Stixay, but they are given it all the time in the world to do so before they take any damage from the bot lane of Echo Fox. A little bit of roam again from Gate as they get some fog of war on their side of bot lane. So more wards from Fox. We'll see if Acadian can start using these. Right now, he's in top lane waiting for a little bit of fun.
Yeah, we've seen this before. All right, there he goes.
Empowered Bola comes out next. Actually, just used the damage. And they're able to take down Darshan. Rumble can still be Rumble, but not for now.
That was even actually more well set up than I thought it was going to be. As I said, especially when people start getting their upgraded boots, the Never moves actually aren't the best way of starting things out. It's a little bit difficult to land those, and Looper just nails that one right in dead center on Darshan and makes it quite easy for Acadian to jump in there. Another kill going over to the Swain, because remember, Looper did get a counter kill when they dove him, and he's actually, even though down in CS, actually feeling fairly comfortable up there.
Absolutely, 1,000 gold in his pocket right now. Look to create that Rod of Ages quite soon.
Yeah, and also let's review the game state, because I was like, oh yeah, mid laners, all their summoners are blown, and you're like, oh yeah, top laners too, and so many bottom lane. To me, that means junglers, your priority for ganking just skyrockets, because there's so many options. And communicating with your laners where the enemies have been seen warding is crucial. So focusing way less on farming the camps and clearing your jungle, and increasing your priority on ganking during times where all these flashes are blown at the same time. Either getting yourself into position for counter ganks, or even just going for offensive uses like that. Very important. And Acadian does go the more aggressive route. He's rewarded. Let's see if Smithy going for control will help out. Doesn't even stop around for this scuttle, because the bottom lane of Echo Fox retains their control. Looper, though.
He's really not even going for the big hit. He wants the dot, the auto attack harass, since it ups a little bit, and playing it very smart to not waste his mana pool so he can just do it over again.
Yeah, Looper is one of those guys. He'll give up CS because he knows, even though they were able to just get a kill, he is still Swain, and he didn't have flash until now. Coming up pretty recently there. And Swain, while quite strong in laning, is also kind of vulnerable to ganks. Now that he's post level 6 and has some defensive, 2v2 situation, he feels a lot better.
Hopefully they have some of those ignites up when the fight comes, because he won't be exhausted. He's going to be doing quite a bit of free damage in these. There's not a lot of crowd control to lock up that bird once they get into the fight on the side of CLG. Acadian and team bringing a bit of that early game momentum from game 1 to game 2 now. 4-1, and it still isn't Acadian getting the early kills. So we see Fox able to work another variable, get a little bit better of a laning phase going on, because that's where they were also going even or worse than the other team, which makes it hard to get any victories.
And they actually are going to keep this one going, not only with that control of the bottom lane. Acadian coming down. Basically, the best of the scenario would be if they had stuck around and you could try and force something there. Top side, though, CLG are going for the opposite play. He's roaming up for a 3-man dive this time instead of just one.
Cheeky little hop. It's all right. Tripped over his shoelaces.
They're just waiting on the minions, by the way, and then it looks like Looper's dead to rights.
Waiting for another one. Ragnarok's there, possibly. Locks up Ruki. Nice take. The auto attack goes. Hits Afro move. The save onto Stixay. Acadian will not make it. Oh, we could have got him on the other side of the wall. That would have been pretty nice.
All right, the Thresh saves. They are able to get out without dropping a kill. Tower went down way earlier, and Echo Fox are actually getting 2 out of this on the bottom side. Plus, mid-wave is also pushed in, so they can rotate up to that turret as well. Keep this snowball going for themselves.
A switch up in the purchasing order for Froggen here as that arm guard comes out. He knows he is going to get quite a bit of aggression in these fights. They cleared out mid lane as well. Looking great here in the early game. Echo Fox, 3,000 gold lead just at 12 minutes. 2 of those on to Keith here in the bot lane. Now they have the protection game. We saw this basically on the other side last time. Stixay being protected with that Caitlyn Lulu. We'll see how Kate can protect Keith on that Ashe.
Yeah, interesting how we will transition here, because the turrets are going down pretty early, opening up more space for Rengar to work with. And I feel like we're just repeating the same stories of last game for Echo Fox, where Ash Arrows and Rengar ultimate to try and pick people off. They do recall here, and CLG slip right in during the recall timings to grab the objective, though. So definitely beneficial for CLG to get that off the map, so that that's not another tool Echo Fox used to pull them out, you know, into this area that's very, very dangerous for them, honestly, to start walking around, as those pick tools are very much ready for Echo Fox.
It's one thing CLG has kind of always been pretty proficient at, is they may be taking a few hits, but they'll grab a first dragon. They'll make sure they get a few turrets to repair what just happened in the last few minutes. That Ocean won't do too much for them yet. Hopefully keep them on the map to do the work they want. But now they start to move in for some forward wards here. See if they can find a kill onto Looper.
Yeah, and one of the main things that is a problem for CLG this game compared to last game is that the Lulu is on the other foot now, as Echo Fox were able to get that away in round number 1, which is a great defense against Talon, any sort of assassins, obviously, but also adds a lot of, you know, security for late game. Acadian here, probably dead. Maybe flashes. Oh, baby.
Oh! Almost gave another hop.
What's behind? Door number 3. All right, we're done. Doesn't even want to stick around to actually clear out that control ward. Acadian does barely get away with his life, but bottom lane getting turned around.
Help picks into a glitter lance to ensure it. Forced flash as the teleport comes in for Darshan. This is going to give free lane to Looper if nothing is picked up here by Counterlogic Game.
Miraculous escapes on both sides of the map here for Echo Fox. With just the flash from Gate, they're able to get themselves out of there.
I think it feels almost a forced TP. He just used Equalizer, so the catch potential goes down a lot. And then they kind of, like you said, fizzled out on that fight. Looper may actually able to get a good bit of damage onto the top turret. He'll get pinged out. It may not go down, though. See, 124 to 132. Heroes we're watching the mid lane. Nice. On the outside, Chaos Storm staying in good distance, forcing the flash and vault over from Hui.
All right, sparks are flying here. I mean, it seems like CLG's play at the moment feels pretty frantic. And it feels like they're definitely trying to rush things. As of right now, Echo Fox are collapsing on the top side to try and force this damage on this turret here. Let Luca kind of usher the minions in, use that range advantage. Swain's actually pretty decent at harassing under the turret too, because if you just get off your E and then throw out the Q here with the bird for zoning, then you just walk out of tower range, and those are both damage over time. You do a lot of work and make life DSing under turret very difficult. That being said, Darshan has done a pretty good job of keeping up there, at least as far as CS is concerned. Remember, though, that Looper had a pretty big deficit early on. The dive attempts, and he's made those up.
Slowly making sure those go in his favor. They haven't really been back to him just yet. A little bit of love in the jungle actually went over to Acadian just a moment ago. So CLG finding ways to get themselves back. And they slowed down as Fox has cleared out the vision on their side of the jungle. Nobody's really been able to push too much forward yet. It's all defensive wards right now, as there's a lot of kills around the map here to start off the game. And these ignites, a little scary as we get into the fights.
Even with all these wards, very wise of Keith not to show, as Talon, actually Talon was showing on a bottom wave as well, I think, so he's pretty safe there, but just did not want to get rushed down by Darshan. As, Hui now revealing himself. Always have to be wary of these assassins when they're splitting up to farm these waves. Keith actually the maximum distance between him and Hui possible.
Making sure he's safe. Darshan. Looks like he actually, he gave himself a ward. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
For a second, but
he knows.
Party top lane. Let's see, CLG is actually going to make their way down bot.
Does Looper have the same amount of respect for the weak side map? It looks like he does. He does have flash here.
Righteous Glory, flash
doesn't
forward.
matter though.
Oh, the hook's going to come through.
I can't counter kill though.
Take him out there.
So we've had this kind of theme of lack of respect, but honestly, every time they go after Looper, he takes someone down with them, and the rest of the team is going to be able to get a turret. So again, another victory here for Echo Fox.
I just ended mentioning that they stopped going for him. They didn't. Now maybe they will, at least with, or a few more people if they do next time.
There's actually an interesting flash here. I think he gets hit with the axe before he flashes, because Smithy's like point blank. The slow there. Oh, smite. He probably has the blue smite. Yep.
Oh, no, he has.
Oh, no, he does not. He has
trackers.
Trackers, yeah, so. Nailed him with the slow first, and after you're slowed already, Bird gets chased down. Doesn't matter though. Go down fighting. Take somebody with you.
Righteous Glory and prop.
Ah, that was it.
I haven't seen Righteous Glory in a long time.
Yeah.
It'll speed up your teammates, but also blast or Randuins when you're done.
Good call there, and that was enough to ensure that they did get a kill.
About a 3,000 gold lead here for Echo Fox as they slowly, as we said, start to push these wards forward. Everything was pretty much lighting up the river, and nobody's going fishing this game. So kills now coming in behind this 10-second Drake. And it looks like Mountain should go over to Echo Fox here. CLG got that first Ocean Drake. This will be good for when Fox approaches the objectives.
Now you got me thinking about what kind of fish are in this shallow. Oh, never mind though. We're gonna get some action. Action. Woo woo. Flash, flash. Super hype action there, yeah.
Why didn't you do this?
Honestly though, another ultimate burn.
Oh, that's deja vu. We see Aphromu's hook blowing Gates flash on that Lulu. Actually was Keith that was in front of him on that one. I apologize. Teleport came in from Looper. It looks like we have Darshan in the back line looking for a perfect equalizer to go down. Does the team follow the red carpet in?
Pretty split.
Moody on the backside looking for the pin. Fight to it. Smithy. Acadian very low, trying to head to the top side. That is going to be Froggen falling in a lot of the DPS that Fox wants to use in the fight. He keeps himself alive. He jumps in, taking down another one. And it looks like Looper's going to be the final one to go down. Smithy dies to the dot and to Beatrice. As it pecks his eyes out. But an ace for Chronologic Gaming.
What an incredible ace right there from CLG. He had some slick moves. Smithy came over the back of the pit, timing the axe. Wait for the replay to see if he had an extra charge of smite that he used also, but looked like he either timed it right with the axe or the axe got it itself. And man, CLG cleaned up so much off of that. Ace gold, tower gold there as well, and the elemental Drake to go in along with that. All right, let's take a look here. He had a smite charge ready. It looked like Acadian just smited there early on the bottom side. Smithy did use his smite, so didn't quite see it in the frame which one had it. But honestly, the highlight up there of Huhi up on the top side.
Heal from Stixay over the wall.
Stick save there from Stixay as well. But I mean, that was definitely something there from the CLG squad. Yeah. All right, Echo Fox's turn though. He's even with an ace and a turret after that. Like that was such a big win for CLG. Echo Fox still have a decent amount of gold to work with because of what they were able to do earlier on in the match.
A lot of that piled onto Looper right now. He's pretty big. Youmu's to get into position for Huhi. I don't know if he's going to find the kill that he wants here. Smart play by Echo Fox to leave the area.
He's on the hunt.
Swing. That's a first.
I like your sound effects better, actually. Honestly, we're going to have to make a soundboard. So that we
absolutely.
So one of the things, too, with Talon, if like people are inspired to go out and play Talon, for first-time users, my first time on the rework Talon, I tried to do a parkour over a wall to gain distance after I'd already popped my ult. Because I was so used to, the old Talon and using your key for jumping. Don't do that! Because as soon as you pop a spell like that, all your ult blades will collapse before, and then you just hop over the wall and you're left in the enemy team with no damage. Right there, though, that was just a case of not being able to get there in time, and the channel for the recall already being close enough for the protected recall.
I love the change, though. Being able to kind of direct your blades more feels very, very good.
Yeah.
Feels good for these guys. 2-0-4 for Huhi. He is ready to go in again. Actually, waiting on his cooldown for the Dust Blade. And he'll be ready. Towards forward. Things coming in actually down towards the side of where Looper is. I don't think they're actually for CLG to move. They're just saying we have control of this top side, and they're going to start flooding bodies in here and get some wards.
Yeah. The cooldown on Talon's ult incredibly low. Although burning the flash definitely hurts for going for that play. who he's still on the hunt, and it looks like they're aiming towards Froggen. Froggen pretty defensive though, and just popping the ward down instead.
Yep. Much different game for Froggen as well. We saw him being able to put out much more damage in this point. Early game, Ragnarok onto the gravity field. He's going to be able to walk around like a kiddie pool. Perfectly fine.
All right, I actually did not expect or see the setup for that kick onto Looper. Regardless though, CLG now with an extra man advantage, and the only ultimates that were used were the Ragnarok as well as, well actually Sisse even ulted as well. As the Rumble ultimate, and looks like with all those being used, they decided to just go purchase with that money. It's just the case of being extending pretty far for this minion wave. That minion wave will eventually get to safer territory, and you can try and farm it at the turret. Especially considering all the fighting they've been doing over vision on their red quadrant. It has to have more of this respect we've been talking about this threat for areas that the Fog of War has been controlled.
Oh, got it. Froggen, just about 1,900 gold that he's sitting on. You see, go back and spend that right now, putting some items in his pocket. Fiendish Codex, Lost Chapter. So it looks like it won't even be a quick finish on this Zhonya's just yet either. Who is hunting who here? Yeah, they're getting a little bit more pressure onto him, knowing he's going to be alone and feeling confident about his plays. Possibly where they take that fight. All right.
Keep just showing off. Robin Hood over here.
Send him the message. He's keeping that ratio up. It's like, I can hit one, let's do it. Not waiting too long to get the arrows back up just yet. And now who he knows, actually, he's getting a little bit of love on the top side. His play is going to become a bit safer. As you can see him not farming too far. Flash for flash. Aftermoo has actually had great success in getting flashes out of Fox this game.
Keep track of these cooldowns,
yep.
Especially these flashes, because both teams have just been very content to push up side waves and look for picks, as there are options for those for both squads. Ash Arrow also is one of those very low cooldowns. He's already with the level 2 into that, even though he didn't go the super utility focused route of the SC style.
Yeah.
And he went for the more immediate auto attack impact of the Hurricane plus Infinity Edge, which I actually quite like for higher damage a bit earlier into the game from auto attacks. Does mean that the opportunities for those arrows are a little bit further between.
True.
And even with this chainmail, it looks like maybe he's going for Guardian Angel due to the amount of burst damage. I guess he's just like resigned to probably getting bursted by Huhi plus Rumble Ultimate or something. He's like, I'll just get back up.
He becomes an even bigger target after Froggen finishes his Zhonya's too, because Looper's going to be gold. Then Froggen goes gold. I'm like, all right, Keith, you might get wild growth, but you can still die at that point. So things could get dangerous. And we are back onto the rift pretty much with all 5 here. Bit of a lull for the last moment. And now onto the Cloud Drake. 3 dragons now for Chronologic Gaming. And keep the variety going. Ocean, Mountain, and now a Cloud Drake.
Are they going to get lucky on an Infernal? No, they do not.
Next time.
Maybe next time. Find out on any LCS. Here we go, though. Huhi on the hunt again. I don't know if Looper is the best target. You already mentioned his completed Zhonya's.
Yep.
So that definitely wards off quite a lot as a threat.
He's got a
unless he got his backup.
Yeah, he's got nice vision. Through River, through Tri-Brush. Also a little bit of help from McSmithy behind. It's kind of was replicated by Acadian and Looper top lane, but Looper with the back, gonna hold down on the bot side now. He can teleport into anything that happens here. But yeah, pretty crazy fight if we start one off. Very split for Chronologic Gaming.
Yeah, and there is a little bit more advanced warning from Echo Fox. That vision that you mentioned is starting to creep up into the blue quadrant of the jungle, and really situated around this Baron. See if CLG right now, though, pushing up mid and top. Get a little bit of time with this turret. Will it be enough to take it? Very close, at least.
6 days damage definitely makes it close. Only a few more shots from that. It'll be much easier pathing for CLG in just a few moments.
I am really waiting for this concentrated effort of Echo Fox to actually go for a proactive arrow and try and pick someone off. At the moment, though, CLG are doing a pretty good job of sticking together, and their one person off by the side is Talon, who's extremely difficult to hit with one of those. So you can see why there's been a lull here. The options are just fairly difficult to execute.
It is true.
For Echo Fox. Right here, though, they're trying to corral him.
Aphromoo won't die right away.
Base race option?
No, they're going to pull back, it seems. They feel like they can get the fight in here. A good arrow onto somebody could mean a never move into a frog and gravity field. And there's not much of a tank to stand up on the side of CLG.
Yeah, look at this defense by CLG. They're just giving Huhi time. He got a whole turret himself.
Yep.
And Echo Fox didn't push down mid lane to go for the race either, but now they go for the arrow.
Aphromoo, they can't really walk through. It's Smithy, though, to get to their arrow target. Unfortunately, arrow for Ragnarok.
Yeah, they made the call here, CLG, to buy more time, and they got the inhibitor turret. Will they be able to disengage, though?
Acadian can't get back in. He's almost dead. Darshan says he wants to go in. Lantern out as the team calls back. We have pressure on that inhib. We just want to toy with Echo Fox right now. Hugi to the back. Polymorph down. Over the wall. The last Ranger's shot coming in from Keith takes him down. Stixay gets a bird, and now they're going to start moving forward. Aphromoo gets locked down. Teleport now coming in and stopped. Well chosen. They were trying to just push off the fight here from the base, but they said do not do it. No choice on the fight.
That's almost an eerily similar situation to last game where it seemed like they had pulled off this disengage with, Thresh Lantern, he used there to gain some distance, but then Huhi goes right into the center of the enemy team, and Gate on Lulu, able to protect the backline long enough. Now it's a Baron up, and we're going wild.
7,000 on the Baron. Members low for Fox. That health means Fox is going to take a lot more damage before Smithy needs to get in, and he has been accurate on his smite. Putting Acadian to the test. The 50-50 Darshan just goes right through the front door of the Baron pit. Says, high five, everybody. He's going to start this out. Baron going to get fighted down by Smithy. A quadra kill for who they call Darshan now.
What? They're both still alive, too? Oh, man. Baron just kicking some ass here. Things are definitely wild in this game, Riv.
That was intense. The choice of whether to go or
just
not.
That insult to injury.
Yeah, they were almost unaware of that. Yeah, it was going to fall, but you see Acadian, that fell. It's just that much more pressure they didn't realize they had to deal with on the point of a Baron also now coming to the front doorstep. 30 minutes in, Chronologic Gaming just turns this game on its head.
Party time for them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, just like that, CLG are looking like they'll be able to get a pretty good route here. All right, let's take another look at this. Everybody on Echo Fox is scared of the two members of CLG, so they group up behind Baron. They all get hit with the spikes. Darshan comes in, guns blazing, and kills almost everybody. Acadian, let's see what happens here. 800, he didn't smite until after there, it looks like. So Smithy here gets in with the, oh man, that is a tilter. Those panic situations in the Baron, where you have all 5 members, everyone's initial reaction is like, oh, danger's incoming from the outside. So you all group up near the back of the Baron, but that's when you get hit with these giant AoE spikes, and everyone gets so low, whereas there's only 2 members there from CLG, and focusing more damage into Baron leaves you without damage to deal with the CLG threats. Anyways, that is all in the past now, and let's take a look at the pushes.
CLG was very ready once they started up after that fight and had the waves in their position. Probably why Fox tried to force themselves into that Baron. Really would have helped them with some breathing room on these turrets. Now CLG cleaning up the work they set before. The last outer turret goes down, and they are on to one of the last inhibitors and turrets in the base. Kuhi even looking to get into the side here so they can once again get a pinch fight. We've seen time and time again here from Chronologic Gaming with this composition. And slowly getting damage on the turret. You can see Fox not even really answering back with their own. That turret not long for this world.
Yeah, the turret's not long. Huhi's on the inhibitor as well.
Yeah.
There's one exposed, one's already dead. Like, oh man, Echo Fox, they don't have very many options. Time is working against them. They're really looking for the perfect arrow to try and burst someone down, though. Let's see who Keith goes for, because there's a lot of pressure. He only has one. He's a really rough target. Smithy is a very bad target to go for, and the rest of the members of CLG are the ones playing super safe, so doesn't look like they're giving them option. The inhibitor's down.
Might be able to do something silly, like throw your redemption down behind the turret, get that distance they need to even take it. CLG really in the driver's seat right now.
Yep, they're going to go right towards the Nexus. They might actually not even bother here.
Minion wave crashing in top. Also mid, who he's been facilitating. Fox needs to pull the trigger at some point. This is a go for broke moment.
Yeah, who can Keith even look for, though?
Smithy, you see him just ghosting, trying to pull some ultimates out of Fox here, seeing if they will break in this tense situation.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're just going to have to let that go down. They're going to say, we'll fight behind double Nexus turrets. Even CLG is saying, we'll leave the turret up. It's easier to fight around it, and Fox isn't taking it.
CLG knows that they have so many things working in their advantage that as long as they play defensively, they can do a lot of work.
Ultimate from Acadian saying, maybe if we do something to blow your ultimates.
He's sitting here.
He loses his.
On Talon, like, I've got a Quicksilver Sash. I got my ultimate ready.
Jump me, bro. Please. There it is. Hops over the turret. Not even a chance for Acadian on that. Pressure to the bot lane. Not pushed in just yet. And we're back to the yo-yo. Who's going to mess it up first?
Yeah, now EchoFox has less tools to work with, and the situation's just getting more and more scary. The health on the turret almost gone.
Darshan just missed. There it is. Smithy pulling the trigger. Polymorph onto him. Froggen is the control for Hoogie. He's back and saved by Wild Growth. Keith very close to going down. Tries to get out of Redemption.
They're turning it.
Good intel right away. Equalizer goes back down. Takes down Keith. He's going to come back up on GA to try and help the team. And only Smithy is down. Bleeding health bars on the side of Fox, but Hoogie is still in the base having a party by himself.
Oh man, this is a long siege here. Darshan goes in on Looper though.
They got the turret. Progress on the bot side for CLG here. Baron up in 2 minutes. And they may just grab the Ocean Drake on the way out. An extended party inside of Fox's base.
Yeah, that's one of those parties where somebody invites a friend of a friend, and that guy invites a whole bunch of his friends. You end up with, I don't know who's in here. They started breaking all of my TVs. And look at the base now. Everything's destroyed. EchoFox are not going to throw parties anymore in this series, I guess.
Have to watch it. Just one recently for Froggen. That was enough. Stixay as well with a recent party. His birthday, so having a good week for himself and the team to start things off. They do actually have to go up against FlyQuest, who Fox sees himself playing coming up in the recent games. So definitely not the easiest route to the end of the season for these teams.
Definitely true. And as we've seen, every single series, there have been a lot of unpredictable moves. CLG's feeling pretty confident, too. If they're able to close this one out, about their at least having a playoff spot. Quick little yoink there, able to get this red buff away.
Yep. If they go all the way, they can look at 11-7, which would be pretty good.
Yeah, I believe they also, as far as the strength of the schedules and the win-losses of the opponents that they have left, have one of the easier end of season schedules.
Fly, Immortals, and then Envy is what they're looking at for this game.
Meanwhile, EchoFox, every win counts here, and it is not over quite yet. They've got 2 inhibitors back up, and we've seen a lot of turns in these games. Here they go, though. Everybody up mid.
True Shot Barrage not doing too much as it passes through multiple members of the team.
She's in there.
Oh, right down the channel behind Blue Buff. They are going to take quite a bit of damage. This gives counter. They don't even want the fight. They'll say, we'll pressure you now at Baron now that you're starting off low in HP.
What's it going to be?
Wait halfway. Fox isn't going to be able to look before they leap on this one. Nice redemption to kind of cool off the pressure of that start.
Honestly, CLG are trying to usher these minion lines past EchoFox right now, and they're like, go, super minion, get up there to pressure that Nexus turret. Then we can retreat back to the Baron. Now they're on the Baron again, burning it down here. EchoFox have to go for it.
They got a 3-2 split. The box out of the brush just to deny movement towards Baron. Easy take for Xmithy. Do they turn or do they retreat? It looks like Looper's going to be the focus here. He's too far in front, and Cadian cannot match that. Keith, Wild Growth puts himself in a very scary position. Now they look to Hugi. Quicksilver on himself, and Keith is now in a bad spot as the team turns to go for Hugi. Cadian leaves everybody behind. A double kill coming in for Darshan. Stick save gathers one for the team, and this one will fizzle out with Counter Logic Gaming heading for Echo Fox's base.
Talon is just fun to watch. The remake here with the parkour, whether he's winning or losing. All right, he gets snared up here. Cadian, how does he get out of this one? No, Cannon minion!
Oh, so close.
He should have style points, let the cannon finish him off.
Yeah. Maybe
he's not having any of that, though. My last hit.
For those little things, like the players usually don't know when the extended kill for Penta's there, or if he's going to execute it or not, so just kill him. It's safe.
Honestly, though, that's going to be CLG moving into the base. Just a formality here left with the Nexus turret.
Yep, very nicely done.
Well, actually, I say that. Reinforcements are coming up.
This is Kobe.
Technically.
You're faking me out. I'm supposed to listen to you. You're the caller. It could be CLG getting the base, but it looks like Fox doing their damnedest to stop this one. Gate now going to go down. The Nexus is in peril. It's taking damage. A final shot is going to put gold in a member's pocket of Counter Logic Gaming. The double kill from Hugi to end out a game on Talon, and the series to Counter Logic Gaming over Echo Fox. Strong starts again from Echo Fox. They're finding the early game a stride that they lose. Somehow in the middle of the game, their confidence just doesn't push forward. They don't use it. They feel like maybe they're too far ahead, and they can roll with that when really they need to keep pressuring they're too far ahead.
Some crucial moments there, man. Yeah. That Baron, where CLG wins a 2 versus 5, gets the Baron.
Darshan and Xmithy blown up this time.
Darshan and Xmithy absolutely blowing this game up.
And Hugi again, it's not really questioned anymore, but puts another champion in that pool for himself to say, I can control mid quite well. And the roamers are really where his wheelhouse is. Echo Fox still have the ability now, looking at their score. 9-9 would have been it if they got all of their victories. So they'll look for that 8 and 10 possibly as they keep going to finalize their 3 last wins. Like we said, it's going to be tough. They don't have the easiest games.
Yeah, it definitely is going to be tough. I mean, all the teams that are right around that level, kind of on the edge, battling
9 and
tooth
10.
and nail at the moment.
It's been crazy. This game we saw going back and forth. CLG as well showing a bit of hesitation in some of the comps that they were putting together. And we saw these fights lasting a little too long at Dragon, a little too long at another objective. And it seemed to kind of confuse the teams a bit. We haven't seen this mostly, but there was the patch change and whatnot. We're seeing new champions come in. It looks like CLG is going to benefit a bit from this as the late game is falling into their favor a bit more here. They're looking more like end of season, any season, CLG.
This time around, yeah, definitely working out for them. They'll be super glad to finish this one up in the 2-0.
Yeah.
Don't have to push this to game 3. And actually, this is one of our earliest days now.
What are you trying to say, Kobe? No.
I guess we'll see. Who are we going for as far as the interview? Because CLG, I mean, last time I talked to Smithy, they were talking about no more excuses, you know.
Exactly.
Before there are a lot of things pointing to with, you know, trying to get rolling in the beginning of the season, and, you know, meta concerns or not really liking to play some of the champions that are currently strong. Right. It does seem to be trending back into the favor of champions that they do like. As far as the decision making and the communication and decisiveness, though, all definitely still on the table.
You can see it's always been like that team communication or that team decision as well. Like Smithy would go back to the Rengar. We noticed the play didn't look as good, but that's always a team decision. They were behind him, and now we see Darshan not having to play those tanks, getting out of Rumble, getting out a little more aggression, and really being able to bring the damage to the table.
Darshan's Rumble.
Something else we were looking for. Yeah, something else we were looking for is for him to pop off, and he starts to do so. So for a first-hand account on that win, let's hear from Captain Flowers and the CLG support.